Yeah, I'm still not seeing anything. And I think you're on mute as well.
So we have a YouTube live.
Okay. Yeah, I've just done that. There we go. Okay. Good. Okay. Is Marius at the ready to be able to check if it's streaming correctly to my LinkedIn? I'm just gonna I'm gonna go live now. Okay. Okay, so I'm broadcasting as well now. So it should be showing up in my LinkedIn that I'm live. If anyone's watching this on LinkedIn, we're just testing the tech right now. It does say that I'm live in LinkedIn, but I have no idea whether it's coming through okay or whether there's an echo. If anyone's on LinkedIn and can see me, can they just leave a quick comment to say whether the sound is working okay or whether there's an echo? That would be awesome. We're just doing, for anyone that's tuning in, we're just doing a quick test of the tech before we go live for Istf, which will be going live at 10 o'clock Eastern European time, 9 o'clock Central European. Thank you, Marius. Okay, right, okay. So if I turn down that one, okay, I think I may have fixed it. Marius has that. Okay, I'm just going to keep talking just so as we can see if we've managed to fix this echo issue. I think I may have done, but I'm not entirely sure. So let's see. Again, if anyone's tuning in, we're just doing a quick tech check before we go live for ISTF. And because we were having a few problems with the echo when I'm streaming to my LinkedIn Live channel, we're just testing a few settings here so as we can hopefully get everything done. Okay, it's now been done. That's fantastic. And my phone is ringing. Okay, so if that's okay, then so if this is now streaming okay, then I think we can just put it on pause or leave the studio for a minute, and then we will come back on live about 5 to 10 Central European time, 5 to 9. About 5 to 9 Central European time, 5 to 10 Eastern European time. What's that? 5 to 8 UK time. And we will then go live with the show and do everything as planned. So if this is working, then every day's a school day, and I've learned how to get rid of an echo on restreaming to a LinkedIn Live account. So good. I'm going to go and put a tie on and have some breakfast and chat to you in half an hour. Ciao. Okay, good morning, everybody. I think we're live. We are live. Okay, so a huge warm welcome to ISTF. I will be your host for the day. My name is James Meads, and together with my partners over at procurementflow.com, we're putting on ISTF today as a joint venture. So wherever you're tuning in from I guess at this time all over Europe, or maybe a couple of people also from the Middle East or from Asia, a very warm welcome. And I really hope that you get what you've come for today, which is hopefully to either to find lots of new suppliers, or if you're exhibiting today, to find lots of new potential sales leads. I realize that most people who are going to be joining us today are probably not native English speakers. So I will make the effort to speak slowly and clearly for everybody. If anyone is watching who is a native English speaker, then please bear with me, because we have quite a diverse audience from many, many different countries who will be joining us today. So just a little bit of housekeeping and some things to be aware of before we jump into the event. So first of all, number one, we are also broadcasting this event to our LinkedIn live accounts, as well as to my YouTube channel. So if you are watching on either of those channels, either on Procurement Flow or on my LinkedIn live stream or on my YouTube channel, just to be aware that you will be able to see all of the presentations and all of the keynotes on our live stream, but obviously you won't actually be able to go in and participate in the trade fair from the live stream, because that does clearly involve some interaction in terms of looking for suppliers and browsing the fair itself. So if you are watching this on LinkedIn or on YouTube and you want to actually access ISTF and you haven't registered yet, then please go to www.istf.eu. It will ask you just for an email address to sign up and register. You will then receive a confirmation email, which will then get you into the trade fair on the website as well, which will then allow you to then go and filter all of the different exhibitors that we've got, depending on the country or the industry sector where you're looking for new suppliers. We have over 205 exhibitors who have signed up from 9 different countries. Let's see if I can remember them. So from Serbia, Croatia, Bulgaria, Romania, Greece, Hungary, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Albania, and North Macedonia. Wow, I did remember them. And it's 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning here in Sofia. So yeah, we have 9 different countries and over 200 exhibitors represented. We have 3 different pillars of exhibitors. So we have industrial, manufacturing, and engineering services companies, which is the first pillar. The second pillar is logistics solutions providers. And then the third one is digital manufacturing solutions. So that can include everything all the way from Internet of Things technology, right the way through to sort of software and various sort of digital hard and soft solutions that can help manufacturing businesses with their objectives, including what I do as procurement consultancy and what Procurement Flow does, which is who are a procurement software provider who target industrial manufacturing businesses, SMEs, as their target client base. So why did we choose Southeast Europe as our sort of region that we wanted to do this for? Well, the guys at Procurement Flow did the initial inaugural ISTF back in December last year, and I was the host and moderator for that day, and that was for the Baltic countries, Poland, Czech Republic, and Slovakia. And we got really good response and got a lot of great feedback from that event. And we thought, well, where could we do next? And obviously with the current restrictions that are ongoing, with at the moment no end in sight, it's probably going to be at least 6 months, probably realistically 12 months, before we have real in-person conferences come back. And obviously companies still need to meet new potential customers. So, how are they going to do that? Unless they're paying money for things like Google ads or LinkedIn ads, or they're doing, very, very innovative things around their marketing, in-person network events have disappeared. So how do they reach new customers? And obviously I live in Sofia, Bulgaria, so I'm based in this region. And I do see a huge amount of potential, both, it's a very cost-effective region from both the labor cost and a taxation perspective in most of these countries, not all of them, but most of these countries that we're representing today. And also, which is something that's been in the news a lot recently, the cost of shipping and the availability of shipping containers. Let's put aside everything around, difficulties with COVID or problems with Brexit or everything else that's in the news. Just the cost of shipping has gone through the roof recently, and the availability of shipping containers has become a real problem. And then when you add on to that some of the seasonal problems that you get with things like Chinese New Year, and then with the Christmas rush, with all of the shipping capacity taken up coming from Asia to Europe, with Christmas toys and Christmas decorations from China and others Far East countries, that together with COVID has led a lot of companies to think, well, is it really a good idea to have such a long and complex supply chain, or would it make more sense to nearshore some of our supply operations? And a classic example of that is the clothing retailer Zara, and they famously, they're in the fast fashion business, and they're famously able to bring new products to market because they have a short supply chain. And textiles in particular, textiles is not an industry that we're focusing on today, but textiles in particular has traditionally been an industry with very long supply chains because of the cost pressures of the end consumer. And a lot of textiles, when you look on the label in your jeans and in your shirts or whatever, it's often made somewhere like Bangladesh or India or Vietnam or Indonesia or China. But Zara, for years now, has actually maintained a supply base pretty close to home. So Zara is a Spanish corporation, and most of their textiles are sourced in Portugal, Egypt, and Turkey. And this is going to become even more of a factor now, I suspect, in the industrial manufacturing world, now that companies are realizing that these long supply chains with COVID and with some of the shipping constraints, not to mention sustainability, in terms of reducing your CO2 footprint, is going to become more important. And Southeast Europe, both from a cost and from a geographical point of view, is a really great region to look at, because you can bring product from pretty much every country in this region to the major markets of Western Europe. So, Scandinavia, Benelux, Germany, or DACH, UK, France, within a week. Most of these countries, or at least over half of them that we're representing today, are EU members. The ones that are not EU members are on the path at some point to gain EU membership. Whether they will, we don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. But what that means is that their regulatory framework and some of their laws around intellectual property, quality, GDPR, for example, if we're looking at internet and software, they're all aligned to what's going on in the EU. So if you have concerns about things like IP from China, or if you have concerns that you don't have a supplier quality engineer that you can put in a factory in India or Vietnam, especially now with travel being so difficult, then it's a lot easier. Well, you can even go by car in most instances to go and visit suppliers in this region, especially if you're based in continental Europe, in Germany or Netherlands, or some of these markets. So sourcing from Southeast Europe makes a lot of sense, both from a cost, from a quality, and a regulatory standpoint, and also from sustainability. So we're really, really proud to showcase that today. And we've had some great support from both the Bulgarian Chamber of Commerce and Industry and Commerce, BCCI, as well as the Chambers of Commerce and Industry in Romania, and our partners over at TLL Media to help promote the event. And we're really glad that they did, to help us reach more people, because we want to do something for the region and make both customers in Western Europe who are looking for suppliers and suppliers here that want to increase their exports to have that interface in the absence of real world conferences, which I, for one, despite what we're doing today, really hope that they come back, because it's nice to go and have a beer in the evening and meet with people and talk business to people in person rather than online. But in the absence of that, I really hope that we can help you, whether you're a buyer or a seller, to help you grow your business or reduce your purchase costs, if that's what you're looking for, or secure your supply chain. So that was really a quick introduction of why we're doing it and how we're doing it and what to expect. What we're now going to do is to do a quick walkthrough of the tech and the back end and show you some of the features, which I will hand over to Tarmo and Marius from Procurement Flow to give a quick detour of everything that they've put together at the back end. And then it will come back to me quickly to just give you a quick rundown of the schedule of events today and a bit of an agenda. So as if you need to dip in and dip out throughout your working day and there's something that you don't want to miss, then you have all of that in your calendar. So with that, I will hand over and we will take a look through the back end. So good morning, Tarmo. Hi. You're on mute. Tarmo, we can't hear you. You're on mute.
Yeah. So hey, James. Good morning. So yeah, we've been busy here to see, and the tech is working on our end. I mean, seems to work. Slight issues with some with some streaming, but I mean everything is working fine. So yeah, and really it's really exciting that we have about over 200 exhibitors signed up from Southeast Europe. So it's super active. I mean, super cool companies from Bulgaria, Romania, Croatia, Hungary. So very interesting, and also for me personally, I've been seeing so many new companies that it's just amazing. I mean, and some categories are super active. So with that, then I just wanted to give an experience for the visitors. So I'll show it to you here. I mean, it's that we are on a signed-in visitor view. So once the visitors have signed up, they have identified themselves. So this is what they see. So here are all the companies are listed here, and there are different things that you can do. I mean, if you look at the company website, I just open. Let's open the MC Engineering. So that's a view from the booth. The companies have put a lot of effort to showcase. What they are able to do. Quite many have their videos here. There is a person. So interesting stuff here on the right side is that you're able to actually, first of all, go to the company website. There is their sales email, which is then where you can send in your requests at one point, and then if there is a orange button, then this means that this company is available for the immediate call. So actually, the Sultan is waiting for you. Or actually, Sultan, I think Sultan just messaged me that he has some busy morning, so he might check in a bit later today. But all the rest, who have the orange button, they should be in and available for your call. And this call is just, clicking on a button. The sales guy on the other end, or Sultan, in that sense, will let you in, and then you can have one nice one-on-one discussion. So very quick way to get to the point. The next thing on the left-hand side is are the filtering and the tags. There is a possibility to search by company name, by their activity, but also then going to, let's see, if you go to the EMS, and then we can see, I mean, all the EMS subcontractors who are available. So we have Videoton here, I mean, from Hungary. We have SIQ, which is represented in Serbia and in Croatia. So we have FEMSOL here doing a pretty interesting stuff on I mean, structural mechanics and all kinds of analysis. So, and also Thomas is here to discuss with you. So it's it gives a very quick navigation for the visitor, and our aim is really to offer this kind of quick, let's say, quick, in that sense, quick time to market, or actually quick time to subcontractor. And again, I mean, and also there is a selection by country. So if you're interested to see, I mean, the subcontractors from Greece, then you just put in a country filter, and you can see, I mean, who are available from Greece to discuss with you. Right. So that was a quick navigation. So we have put a lot of effort to make it this trade fair, let's say, give you the trade fair experience virtually. So the main thing is around the virtual booth. The main thing is around exhibitors and to have a quick chat with them. So yeah. So hopefully, I mean, everyone will enjoy the day, and will find, I mean, some subcontractors who are interesting, and hopefully their new business relations will be also made. That's our aim here. All right, so James, we follow the agenda, right? So we will check back in at 10 a.m. Central European time.
Yeah, I will just do a quick run through of what to expect today. So as anyone that's watching this can, if they do need to dip in and dip out throughout their working day, then they can make a quick note. And then, yes, you're right, we'll be back at 10 a.m. Central European, 11 o'clock Eastern European time with our first exhibitor presentation. So yeah, the run of events for the day is we've just gone through the exhibition area walkthrough. We're going to be doing those sporadically throughout the day, just so as if anyone does need to dip in and out, that they can still get an overview later on. So at these times are all CET, Central European time. So at 10 o'clock, we have our first exhibitor presentation from Istf in Hungary. Then at 10:30, we will do another walkthrough of the back end of the exhibition. So Tama will do another demo at 10:30 for anyone that's just joined us and missed that one. Then at 11 o'clock, we have a presentation from Graphite Partners, who are a sensor technology software solution based in the UK. At 11:30, we'll have another exhibition area walkthrough, again, in case anyone's joining, which will then lead us through to 12 o'clock, where we have our final exhibitor presentation, which is from EMS. That's Evgeny, based here in Bulgaria. At 12:30, we will have a half-hour lunch break, and then we will be back online at 1 p.m., where we'll do another quick walkthrough of the back end of the exhibition for anyone that's joining us straight after lunch. And then the final two presentations at 1:30. Tamo, you're doing something on the procurement flow side with a couple of new features that you've recently launched. And then the final presentation will be actually from myself around what I offer as a service to manufacturing businesses who are looking to reduce what they spend or optimize what they spend with their suppliers. And then we will have a final exhibition walkthrough at 2:30, especially in case anyone is joining us from North America or from a time zone over on that side of the world. And then finally at round about 3 o'clock, maybe 3:30, depending on how many people we still have live on the platform, we will say a few final words and just do a quick closing remark, and then we will sign off for the day. The actual exhibition itself is going to be open until what time, Tamu, in case anyone joins late?
Yeah, it's, I mean, actually, I mean, it will stay open till midnight. So I mean, there is, I mean, we do not close it, I mean, at 5. So yeah, I mean, it will remain open.
Okay, fantastic. So that is ISTF for the day. If you do have any questions, or if you're an exhibitor and you've got some issues with any of the technology, then please reach out to one of us, and we can go in and look into that as a matter of urgency in the back end. You know, inevitably there may be one or two small problems that we need to go in and fix. So yeah, please do reach out to us. Other than that, I wish everyone that's watching this or that's exhibiting a successful day. Thank you for joining us, and we will be back online at 10 o'clock with our first presentation. Okay, hello, welcome back, everybody. I hope if you've just joined us that you're able to spend a few minutes getting to know what we're doing today. If you've been with us for a while, then I hope you've had good luck finding all of the different suppliers and exhibitors that are presenting today. My name is James Meads. I'm your host for the day if you have just joined us. And this session that we're going to present just now is our first of 3 morning presentations from our premium exhibitors. And yet this first presentation is from Istf from Hungary. And this, if those of you that are eagle-eyed and can spot that I'm wearing something different in the video, we actually pre-recorded all of these just so as we don't have any tech problems. So I'm going to hand over now and play the video. This is Istf, who are providing solutions in the electrical engineering PLC space to automotive companies and machine building companies. Play the video. Yes, hello and welcome back. And here we have another interview in our series with another ISTF exhibitor and silver sponsor. I'm here to welcome Zoltan from Yazgib Automatic to the platform. Zoltan, hello and welcome to ISTF.
Hello, thank you for this invitation. Our core business is engineering support to the machine building companies. We are giving PLC programmer support and robot programming support from programmer until the commissioning to the customers. The main business sector at the moment is automotive. We are looking for other possibilities to electronics support electronic business as well.
And tell us a little bit about your company. So you're located in Hungary, and from what you told me before I hit record, you're actually pretty new as a business. So just walk us through your expertise and maybe give us a few examples of the services that you provide. And probably most importantly, what do you think is something that makes you unique or special versus other people that are playing in that same space?
The company head office is in Hungary. Myself, I was a programmer as well, PLC programmer. So I was working in the automotive sector as well. And we made a new direction with my colleague. He's living in Germany. He's a robot programmer. So we made other direction. So we got more requests from German companies. They have big projects and they had more new customers and they requested more engineers. So we decided to extend this activity. So at the moment we are in contact with more engineers, robot engineers and PLC engineers. We have more orders, getting more and more. And we are at the moment 10 PLC programmers and 5 robot programmers.
So you're providing engineering services essentially to machine building companies that are working in the automotive sector, and from what I understand, you're particularly strong right now in the German speaking market.
Yeah, the German companies are very reliable companies, and we can have a very good connection with them. Our how can I say? So our solutions are very good for them. Our practice, our experience are from German automotive sector as well. So we are very good in automotive standard for German sector. BMW, Audi, Volkswagen, and so on.
And are there any other sectors that you could also work in? I mean, is your solution, generally speaking, industry agnostic, or is it very much focused on the automotive sector?
It can be different as well. our engineers were getting experience from different sectors, most of automotive, but other machine building sectors. So like packaging machines, conveyor systems, glass industry. So it's not only automotive, but our business at the moment, most of automotive, but the experience are coming from other industries as well. So we are able to giving a support for diagnostic projects, other production systems. So it's a very wide solution.
So maybe could you give us a few examples of the different types of services that you could provide and how that would add value to the end customer? So I mean, I guess what I'm asking is why should they outsource what they're doing, what you offer to a company like yourselves instead of them doing it internally? Is it just because you're more flexible, or for cost, or for service quality? Just maybe give me a couple of examples.
Our efficiency is very high. We are very flexible. Our engineers can study very fast because of the very high experience background. We can start project as soon as possible. So the last few order was coming from one day to other days, from 1 week to other weeks. So our action is very, very fast.
And I guess through being a small company, that gives you that level of flexibility, right? That some of the bigger companies may not be able to offer. And it's something I say all the time, that the advantage of working with a small business is that they have less bureaucracy and they can be a lot more flexible. And on projects especially, if someone wants something very urgently, I suspect that is a huge opportunity and advantage that you can offer to your clients.
Your clients like the flexibility. Sometimes they cannot plan for longer time because of the production plan. If the project can start late, they have a very, very big lose. That's why very important, the flexibility and the professional people. So we are sending not beginner engineers, we are sending not only engineers, we are sending professional engineers, which is very different. So they doesn't need very much time to study the devices, the processes.
So you're sending people that are fully trained in the applications that they want support in, and they're not just generic. They're trained on the specific brand of equipment or technology that they need to go in and look at.
Yeah, when we get the order from the client, we need a kind of standard, but they are sending a backup of the sender software. We are getting much more information before we start, and then we can prepare the knowledge. It takes 1-2 days, and they can start the project after that. So this is the way how we are working.
And at the moment, obviously, with the travel restrictions that we are currently all facing, is what you do also pretty easy to implement remotely as well as on the customer's site? Because I guess 2020 has changed the goalpost a lot in that sense.
It's a very, very, very bad time now. It's very heavy to organize. It's much more. We need much more flexibility for it. So the rules are changing from day to day in different countries. Like now we have a project in Austria. The project started in Germany, and then it's continuously going on in Austria. So the project is going on across different countries, so which is very heavy to organize it.
And are you able to do that and actually physically go on site, or are you delivering some of that project now remotely?
Yes, we are following the rules continuously. If it's possible, we can do it remotely, but now we have to do it personally, because it's hardware specific. So it's not only software; it's software and machine and hardware, software together. So
and that requires the engineer to be on the customer's side. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
The commissioning it cannot be from remotely.
Okay, so who are you hoping to find as potential clients through ISTF today?
I trying to find the companies who are machine building companies. They are looking for more capacity with PLC programmers and robot programmers. If someone needs, we are able to plan electric drawings for machines as well. Or if someone need more professional support, for example, they have a capacity, but they don't have enough professional support, or they need just kind of, how can I say, knowledge only, we can do it.
So you're very flexible in terms of the different types of services to support your customers that you can offer.
Yes.
So I guess really the takeaway then for anyone that's watching this is that as a small company, you're flexible and can engage pretty quickly and flexibly with the client. You're able to, as long as the rules are followed, go on site and support them. And also you're not just limited to one specific service. There are a number of different ways that you can help them. So other than people visiting your booth, I mean, you're a silver sponsor today, so you have the one-on-one video conference call facility. If anyone's watching this and wants to have a chat with Zoltan about the different services that he can offer or that his company can offer, but maybe after the event, Zoltan, what's the best way that potential customers could get in touch with you to inquire and learn more about what you do?
The quickest one, just send the email to our website address, and we can give them answer by phone or by email, both way. So
just give us your email address now, so as anyone can contact you.
Yes, it's info.ggautomatic.com.
Perfect. Zoltan, thank you very much for joining me. I wish you lots of success with the rest of the day here at ISTF, and hope you get lots of new inquiries. And thank you for joining me on this little interview today. And we will speak to you again, I'm sure, very, very soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That was Zoltan from Yeskep. Welcome back to ISTF. If anyone has just joined us, my name is James Meads. I am going to be your host for the day. We're showcasing suppliers and service providers in the manufacturing space from right here in Southeast Europe. We've got over 205 exhibitors who are exhibiting their products and services today from 9 different countries. So let's see if I can remember these again. I managed it first thing this morning. So from Serbia, Croatia, Macedonia, North Macedonia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Albania, Bulgaria, Romania, Hungary, and Greece. Got them. So we're going to be back in about 10 to 15 minutes time at 11:30 East European time, 10:30 Central European time, where Tamo from Procurement Flow is going to join me to give anyone who's just joined us a quick overview of the ISTF interface to show you where to look for the different suppliers and service providers once you've logged in. If you're watching this in live or if you're watching this on YouTube, then don't forget that you're not able to actually see the exhibition through the live stream. You're only able to see sort of the interlude presentations. So if you want to go in and have a look at the fair itself and browse the exhibitors, then please head over to www.istf.eu. It will ask you to just pop your email in to get a registration link, and then once you receive that by email, then you're good to go and you can browse all of the exhibitors. So thank you to Zoltan for that interview. and we will be back in 15 minutes with a quick walkthrough of the exhibition at the back end. Until then, I'm going to go and drink my tea. Old habits die hard, and I'm British, and I will see you again in 15 minutes' time.
James, you mute.
Hi everyone, welcome back. Sorry, I was on mute. I was on mute because one of my neighbors is drilling right now, and I hope, fingers crossed, we manage to get through this without the background noise. You can never predict what's going to happen. So we're going to do now a quick tour of the exhibition interface for anyone who may have just joined us, or for anyone who's not logged in yet. And then after that, we've actually got an interview that wasn't planned, but one of our exhibitors reached out to us in the meantime and asked if we could do a live stream with them. So I'm going to hand over to Tarmo in a couple of minutes to do a walk through the exhibitor and visitor interface. And then we're going to have a live stream at 11:45 Eastern European, 10:45 Central European time with Trigons, who are a composite parts manufacturer based in Greece. I'll be speaking to Kozel from Trigons. And then after that, we will have Graphite Partners as our next interview, which is at 11 Central European, 12 Eastern European time. So if anyone is watching this on LinkedIn Live or on YouTube and hasn't logged in to the ISTF interface yet, then just head over to istf.eu, because if you want to gain access and browse the exhibitors, you will need to register and sign in. It's very, very quick. It only takes a few seconds to sign up and confirm your email address, and then you're in, and you can browse over 205 exhibitors that we have exhibiting today from 9 countries right here in Southeast Europe. So if you are watching this, just leave us a comment on either the procurement flow or on my LinkedIn profile. Just let us know where you're watching from. It'd be really interesting to find out which countries that we've got represented. And if you've got any thoughts and comments about the different exhibitors, or if you've already maybe had a conversation live with one of the exhibitors today, just leave a comment. Let us know who you've spoken to. It's always really interesting and fun to hear the stories and hopefully get confirmation that we're making an impact and that we're connecting people, because that's what we set out to do with the event today. So Tarmo, I'm going to hand over to you to do a quick tour, and then we will come back to me where I can then hand over to the interview where we're going to be speaking to Kozel from Trigons. So over to you to give a quick tour.
Thanks, James. And yeah, it's really, I mean, the aim of this kind of trade fair is really to kind of rebuild this possibility to connect, I mean, ultimately buyers with subcontractors. I mean, the category managers, etc. I mean, when we started to organize this ISTF now the second time in a row, then we actually been reached out by quite many category managers asking that, I mean, hey Tarmo, do you know, I mean, casting suppliers in Bulgaria, Romania? I mean, hey Tarmo, do you know aluminium extrusion companies in Southeast Europe? So actually this shows that, I mean, there is a need on the market for this kind of events, and I mean, especially this kind of building these B2B connections. I mean, this is what we are aiming for. And then if you're just now joining in, then sharing my screen here. So this is a view of for the visitors. I mean, to find the subcontractors, we have over a few hundred here listed. So so pretty nice amount of and they are all in different subcategories. So for example, I mean, you have a possibility here on the left-hand side to filter out, I mean, just to see engineering and manufacturing companies, for example. Or you could, I mean, drill down to, well, I spoke about castings, drill down to casting. So we have some casting companies here as well. I mean, the aluminium, then they're doing turning and milling and castings. And also Cumix Elaster here is doing a casting for example, for rubber parts. Or, I mean, if you go to sheet metal processing, which is typically a super active field, I mean, and there we have a really nice companies represented from Romania, from Bulgaria. I mean, if I go to the Linux Total Group, for example, it's great. Sandro has also put the video call. So I mean, with Sandro, you can actually have a live call here. So there is and the Linux Total Group is a really good example. I mean, first of all, I mean, different tags what they're able to do. Secondly, there is a nice video of showing their products, or their production at this point. A brief overview, but then I think the pictures tell more than the words, and actually there are pictures of the products, what they are capable of doing. So pretty interesting stuff. So if you're interested to finding a subcontractor from Romania doing sheet metal, welding, powder coating, then the Sandro would be the person to talk to. So if I go back here, then let us see. Some other categories. I mentioned in my previous review that EMS is something that is really popular. The different electronic components manufacturers. But also one area is really the plastics, where we have a big variety of different companies doing different things with plastic. The Trigon set will be live here in few minutes. They are from Greece, but they are specialized for a composite, so composite manufacturing. So again, interesting stuff. And composites is a big thing. When I was a category manager or doing a sourcing, actually back in my sourcing days, then this composite was actually one of the categories I was really looking for, and then I also did a market study. But then I needed really to Google. Now it's much easier. You come on a trade fair and you're able to, by using the filters, you're able to find the suitable companies. And when you're landing to the company booth, then there are different options. Just zooming in a bit, there is option to visit actually their website. There is a direct link. There is actually an email address. What the company has told that this is where they want to get the sales orders or sales quotes, and then there are or requests, and then there is a person name who is actually at the stand, and then the orange button will direct to will open the direct call. So that's with that said, I think it's for the potential buyer and or a category manager, I think it literally takes let's say 15 minutes to go through and find interesting companies, have a chat. So it's much quicker than doing a live trade fair, which we know currently are also not possible. So yeah, and I think we have also, because this is a second event we have been now doing, Procurement Flow hasn't been, well, the trade fair is not something that we, this is not our main product, but because we have a big amount of buyers and category managers who are our subscribers, then it kind of makes sense for us to connect the persons, salesperson from subcontractor side, and then buyers and category managers from the other side. Right. So James, I'm heading back to you. Is there anything, let's say if you are, let's say, pretending that you are a visitor, is there something that something else that you would like to see here, or it gives you a good overview?
I think for me, one of the big features of this and one of the real selling points is the possibility to have in-person live video conference, not in person, what am I talking about? Is to have the live video conferences, because one of the advantages of this type of platform versus just going onto one of these directory websites is that, number one, we know that all of the contact details in these exhibition booths are current, because all of our exhibitors went in and completed them and updated them over the past sort of 4 to 5 weeks. And number two is the ability to actually speak to a person in real time. What I often find, these directory websites are great, don't get me wrong. I use them myself as a procurement consultant. If I'm looking for suppliers in an industry sector that I'm not familiar with, they are great for discovering potential suppliers. But what usually happens in any of these directory websites is that, you maybe send 10 suppliers an email. Typically 2 or 3 of them, the email address bounces because it's not been updated. The other 5 more don't bother replying because they don't see it as being a serious inquiry. And you maybe get, if you're lucky, 1 or 2 responses. If anyone here that's watching this online works in purchasing or procurement, I'm sure you can sympathize and have had similar experiences to that, because these websites don't maintain current data, and often salespeople don't check them. If they're going to an info email address or an office @ email address rather than the actual salesperson that needs to respond to the inquiry, then they can often be pretty unproductive. Whereas with this, that the person that's whose contact details are in the booth are going to be actively responding to it because they've actually taken the time to go in, register for the trade fair, put their logo and some product photos on their exhibition stand, maybe a YouTube video, and in the case of those that have got a premium package, can also use the one-on-one video call. So I really think that's the differentiating factor between using a directory or just doing a Google search versus attending a virtual trade fair. While we will never be able to fully replicate the networking opportunities that in-person exhibitions offer, I think we all miss that, especially those of us that are a bit more extrovert and enjoy socializing with people. What we can do is make sure that the accuracy of the information and the availability of the contact people on the other side is much better than using the other sources that are available to buyers at the moment who are searching for new suppliers. So that's the big difference between just using the traditional online approach of looking for suppliers, which is usually Google or one of the major supplier directories.
Yeah, exactly. And here actually, I mean, well, we have been seeing, I mean, if the companies have made their edits to their booth, and then some companies have really put a lot of effort here. I mean, we have been seeing them, I mean, day by day, I mean, like fine tuning and adding a few details. So I mean, the companies have put a lot of effort into this making themselves really, I mean, presentable, and also giving a good overview of what they're doing. So yeah, I mean, I think in that sense, definitely that's beating a Google. All right, so we should have Trigons here in any minute here to do the live stream.
Yeah, so I guess Tom, if you can just let me know when they're in the waiting room, and I'm ready to switch when you're ready to start the live interview.
Yep, I'll let you know in a minute here. All right, I think that Trigons has actually joined the waiting room here, so we will be switching on. Right, so we have actually two persons here from Trigons, so let them in, and I'll switch myself out. Right? Hey, Kazel.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for organizing the event.
Hi, good morning.
So this is Alex Sarasitis. He's the mastermind of the company. We would like to say a couple of things about who we are and what we do. So
yeah, please go ahead. So Trigons are a composites manufacturer. For anyone that's watching this, they are based in Greece. I know 4 words of Greek. One of them will definitely not be repeated here. The other 3 are Kalimera, Kalispera, and Yamas. So with those 4 words, I can pretty much get everywhere in Greece. So yeah, so I'll just give a quick introduction. You don't sound like you're from Greece, so tell me the story.
Well, none of us are typically Greek, only Greek. Originally, I come from the Caribbean, and Alexander is half German. So that's why we are so internationally oriented. But Trigons manufactures composites parts. So parts based on carbon fiber or glass fiber. Traditionally, the company started off in the free diving, actually sports equipment industry, as well as in the marine, and we have evolved into other sectors. Our expertise is in large scale
parts. So we make parts up to 50 meters in length. From design, from the mold manufacture, production lines, everything.
Maybe if you could speak a little bit closer to the microphone, because the audio isn't great. Kozel, your audio is great, but yeah, yes. Okay.
Our expertise is big composite parts out of materials, not just hand layup. We make infusion or autoclave or carbon fiber, more exotic version of the composites area.
And that's based that's in a number of industries, and you're geared up to do mass production of in your facility.
Yes. Yes.
And where are your main export markets, or what are the main industries? You mentioned marine, but what are the other industries that you've broken into apart from marine?
Well, the last few years we have a big project in the automotive industry. You can see behind me. And we made models for example, for the wind energy industry. But mass production, we have marine and automotive.
And I think we have quite a lot of automotive visitors today, because both Tarmo and myself originally worked in the automotive industry. I mean, I did many years ago, and Tarmo also did before becoming a procurement software entrepreneur. So I think you may have a lot of automotive folks that are watching this or visiting your stand. So yeah, just walk us through your product range, because that looks like a whole very interesting but also quite diverse different range of products. So yeah, maybe just walk us through typically the size and the function of the different components that you make, and which would be potentially the export markets that you're interested to speak to visitors from today.
Yes, I would say our main product or function is we are developing a system to produce in a much faster and more efficient way big composite parts. So the size and the complexity is our expertise, so we go as bigger and more complex. So in matter of automotive, it's very interesting because they want to get lighter. We know that. So if you do the step from iron to go to plastic, this is the way, because in big size, you don't have an injection molding. You need a composite part. And this is what we do. We have, for example, a 12 square meter in total area part with undercuts and everything. We managed to produce this at the moment, we are in a cycle time of 35 minutes, which is quite impressive if you consider that some people produce this in 7 hours cycle.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
So this is what is being developed at the moment here, what we are doing. This is the state of the art.
I can't hear you very well. You must be a little bit too far away from the mic, because my audio is not picking up your voice.
So mass production of big and complex composite parts is what we are expertise.
And tell me a little bit about the tooling costs, because from my days in automotive, plastic injection molded thing made out of plastic was typically very expensive from a tooling perspective. So maybe just walk us through a little bit your technology in terms of tooling and manufacturing.
And this is the big step. If you do this, if you are in a production size of about 6,000 to 8,000 pieces per year, if you are just below that, it's more efficient. You can go with a very much cheaper plastic tool. And the accuracy nowadays in this stuff has increased a lot. So last tool we made now, we had an accuracy of 0.05 millimeters. So it's getting much better than it was before. And the tool costs only a fraction of what an injection tool costs. So we are talking about, to give you a number, 12 square meters, which is like a big jacuzzi. If you imagine it's the deck of the truck. It costed around for every tool is about 15,000 euros. So if this was injection, we were talking about 300,000 euros.
So it's about one sixth of the cost, or
yes, it's much way lower, but of course it doesn't have a lifetime as the other one, so it has to be replaced faster. But it depends on the numbers. So if this is a model that changes faster and you need a new model every 2 years or something, then maybe it's worth it.
So it really depends on production volume, whether it makes sense in terms of, once you hit a certain point, anything under that volume, it makes more sense to go for composite parts versus, above that volume, it's more economic, viable to use series volume tooling.
But again, if somebody designs on this direction, that's why we also offer consulting. The part can be much more complex. So you can put inside other parts too. So you save also costs of other molds and joining joints and gluing all this stuff. So it might be worth it also, even for much higher production numbers.
So it's per case, really.
So it's per case.
So what would be your advice to anyone that's watching this and is maybe a little bit curious to think, well, it'd be a possibility for the product that I'm trying to produce? Would you offer them consulting as part of the service to be able to evaluate whether it makes sense from a volume and complexity point of view?
Exactly. It would be considered, especially if somebody is also in the beginning of design.
We can't hear you. The audio's gone again.
It's something to consider now. If somebody is now on a new model or design, it's very worth looking into it, because you can save a lot of also startup costs and save also a lot of weight, and also make something much more also in design, because maybe he's making it from metal now and it makes a big step. He can have a much better shapes and stuff like this in the design. So it's something to consider.
Yeah, so consultancy is part of our projects as well during the initial stages, and to sort of finalize what the product is. Sometimes because we also manufacture our own products, but clients come with their own designs, so it depends.
So what's typically the difference in production lead time for a composite part versus a more traditional plastic molded part?
Plastic molded, we don't know. We don't do this. We don't have injection molding. But if you consider the size of the tools, for sure, starting a production with composites is much faster, and also it's an easier decision, because you're not investing millions into it. So it can be also something that will be, because a tool of composite has a lifetime of 500 to 1,000 pieces. So in the cost, we calculated the new tools. So it can be done that every year, combined with changing the new tools, you can have all the new design. So there is, but we are talking about, if we have the drawings and everything, a part can be start producing. If it's something standard that doesn't have something very different that needs to be testing, we could even start in 3-4 months. You could start.
So, but depending on how mature and how developed the designs are, that obviously impacts the lead time. But that's pretty quick from what can often be traditional lead times for series tooling. Going back again, it's a long time ago when I remember my automotive days. But yeah, I remember lead times of much longer than that for tooling, obviously depending on the type of product.
Yes.
So if anyone wants to find out a little bit more or maybe have a conversation with you. Clearly, there is the video call option in your booth if anyone wants to speak to you live during the day today. I hope everyone's using that. After the event itself, what is the best way to reach you, and how can people get in touch?
Well, they can email us at info@dragons-techtch.com. That would be the fastest way, and we'll get back to them.
And Trygons is with a Y, so TRYGONS. There we go. Yeah. And yeah, the contact details are all in there. Thank you, Tom, for zooming in. That's great. Yeah, thank you, Kozel. Thank you very, very much for joining us on this rather spontaneous live interview that we've managed to bring into the ISTF agenda today. I wish you both a successful rest of the fair and that you get lots of visitors to your booth. And yeah, good luck and keep in touch. Speak to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, that was Trygons, and apologies, we did have a few issues with the audio there, but I hope anyone that was watching was able to hear as much as possible. We've got just 3 or 4 minutes now until our next ISTF exhibitor video, which is going to be on the hour at, let me just double check, at 12 o'clock Eastern European time and at 11 o'clock CET. Yes, we have Graphite Partners who are up next. Graphite Partners are based in the UK and have sensor technology that can measure all sorts of great things in terms of manufacturing, production efficiency, and getting data out of different pieces of machinery and equipment that can help enhance and improve your production efficiency through being able to interpret and act upon that data for the good of your business. So that will be coming up in a couple of minutes. If you need to go and take a quick break or go and grab yourself a coffee, then do it now. And Graphite Partners video will play in just over 2 minutes time. If you've just joined us, then please, if you're watching on LinkedIn or if you're watching us on YouTube, then don't forget to go up, to head across and sign up for the ISTF event. Go to istf.eu. If you're watching on LinkedIn or YouTube, you will be able to see all of the interviews and all of the all of my live streams, but you won't be able to access the exhibitors and the event itself. So if you do want to go in and have a browse through the over 205 exhibitors that we have from 9 different countries, then you will need to go in and sign up. It only takes a few seconds. You just need to enter your email address. You'll then get a confirmation through that you just have to confirm, and then you're off to the races and can go in and browse and talk to all of our exhibitors. We have manufacturing and engineering companies, we have logistics solutions providers, and we have digital solutions and all sorts of tech solutions that support and enhance manufacturing industry as well. So there are 3 key pillars of all of the different exhibitors that we've got in ISTF. And I can see Tamo here just doing a quick demo and run through of the interface and what the different exhibition booths and stands look like in real time when you go in and log in. We've got Graphite Partners coming up now, and then after that we'll do another quick walkthrough of the back end live, and then after that we have at 12 o'clock Central European time, 1 o'clock Eastern European time, we have our last exhibitor presentation, which is from Evgeny from Every Mechanical Solution here in Bulgaria. Then after Evgeny we have a lunch break, and after lunch then we have presentations from both My Business and Procurement Flow in our afternoon session. So with that, it's now time to play the video from Graphite. Tamo, if you've got the video that you can bring up, let's roll the Graphite Partners video. Welcome back, and now is the time to do another interview with one of our ISTF exhibitor sponsors, and this time it's the turn of Graphite Partners, who are a UK service and solutions provider in the technology space. And Steve Brown from Graphite Partners is going to tell us a little bit about their solution and how it can benefit manufacturing businesses specifically. So hello, Steve.
Hi, James. Thanks for having me on.
Super. Okay, so let's jump in. First of all, just give us a bit of backstory in terms of what is it that your product does. And I mean, I've got a bit of background on this because we've spoken before, but it's very, very versatile, isn't it? So maybe if you can give us a few different spheres that it can be that it can be used in, and then we'll dig in specifically to the manufacturing space and look at a couple of specific case studies there.
Okay, so principally, James, we're a workflow solutions provider. So we take companies' existing workflows, and principally in the past, that's been around removing paper and actually digitizing those workflows and leaving companies with ongoing repeatable processes that every member of the team has to follow. What we've seen in the last couple of years is the reduction in price of IoT sensors is driving our business in a slightly different direction. So we are augmenting data that we're currently collating from our customers' manual input with data that's already existing in their process, or by supplementing with new sensors capturing new data, for example, in their production process.
And you mentioned data that's already existing in their production process. Can we dig a bit deeper into that? Because manufacturing leaders may not be aware of data that could potentially be at their fingertips, and what you do essentially is to bring it into the fold and make it intelligible to anyone that's operating that equipment and needs to monitor its performance.
That's a good point. So what we found is that companies already collect vast amounts of data. Any company that's got a building management system is probably already collecting flow rates, collecting temperature rates, and pretty much any reasonably new piece of production equipment that's got an RJ45 connector on the back and a PLC controller is already capturing data. That data may not currently be being stored, and it's highly unlikely that it's being used. But we're actually able, if there's a data feed there, we're actually able to take that into our platform, and we're actually able to start capturing that data. And we've got some real good live examples where we've worked with companies to take temperature sensing, to measure particulates in the environment from sensors that are already deployed. I guess my background is I worked in food manufacturing for probably the first 20 years of my career. And one of the factories I used to run produced a vegetable cream. Basically, boil up some fats and some water and some magic potion, and then basically the scientific part of the process was the homogenization process, which is putting the liquid through really high pressure, and the settings needed to be between 2.8 and 3.2 bar. So that's 3 bar then, isn't it? Halfway between the two. And if you watched the production staff, every time somebody walked past the homogenizer, they'd adjust it up or they'd adjust it down. Somebody'd move it to 3.1, somebody'd move it back to 2.9. And looking back